ಹರೇ ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸ. ನಾರಾಯಣಾಯ ಪರಿಪೂರ್ಣ ಗುಣಾರ್ಣವಾಯ ವಿಶ್ವೋದಯ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಲಯೋ ನಿಯತಿ ಪ್ರದಾಯ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಪ್ರದಾಯ ವಿಬುಧಾಸುರ ಸೌಖ್ಯ ದುಃಖ ಸತ್ಕಾರಣಾಯ ವಿತತಾಯ ನಮೋ ನಮಸ್ತೆ. ಸದಾಗಮೈಕ ವಿಜ್ಞೇಯಂ ಸಮತೀಕ್ಷರಾಕ್ಷರಂ ನಾರಾಯಣಂ ವಂದೇ ನಿರ್ದೋಷಾಶೇಷ ಸದ್ಗುಣಂ. ಜಯತ್ಯಬ್ಜ ಭವೇಶೇಂದ್ರವಂದಿತಃ ಕಮಲಾಪತಿಃ ಅನಂತ ವಿಭವಾನಂದ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಜ್ಞಾನಾದಿ ಸದ್ಗುಣಃ. ನಾರಾಯಣಂ ಸುರಗುರುಂ ಜಗದೇಕನಾಥಂ ಭಕ್ತಪ್ರಿಯಂ ಸಕಲಲೋಕ ನಮಸ್ಕೃತಂ ಚ ತ್ರೈಗುಣ್ಯವರ್ಜಿತಮಜಂ ವಿಭುಮಾದ್ಯಮೀಶಂ ವಂದೇ ಭವಗ್ನಮರಾಸುರಸಿದ್ಧವಂದ್ಯಂ. ನಾರಾಯಣಂ ನಮಸ್ಕೃತ್ಯ ನರಂ ಚೈವ ನರೋತ್ತಮಂ ದೇವೀಂ ಸರಸ್ವತೀಂ ವ್ಯಾಸಂ ತತೋ ಜಯಮುದೀರಯೇತ್. ಅಭ್ರಮಂ ಭಂಗರಹಿತಂ ಅಜಡಂ ವಿಮಲಂ ಸದಾ ಆನಂದತೀರ್ಥಮತುಲಂ ಭಜೆ ತಾಪತ್ರಯಾಪಹಂ. ಅರ್ಥಿಕಲ್ಪಿತಕಲ್ಪೋಯಂ ಪ್ರತ್ಯರ್ಥಿಗಜಕೇಸರಿ ವ್ಯಾಸತೀರ್ಥಗುರುರ್ಭೂಯಾದಸ್ಮದಿಷ್ಟಾರ್ಥಸಿದ್ಧಯೇ. ಕಾಮಧೇನುರ್ಯಥಾ ಪೂರ್ವಂ ಸರ್ವಾಭೀಷ್ಟಫಲಪ್ರದಾ ತಥಾ ಕಲೌವಾದಿರಾಜಶ್ರೀಪಾದೋಭೀಷ್ಟದಃ ಸದಾ. ಪೂಜ್ಯಾಯ ರಾಘವೇಂದ್ರಾಯ ಸತ್ಯಧರ್ಮರತಾಯ ಚ ಭಜತಾಂ ಕಲ್ಪವೃಕ್ಷಾಯ ನಮತಾಂ ಕಾಮಧೇನವೇ. ಆಪಾದಮೌಳಿಪರ್ಯಂತಂ ಗುರುಣಾಮಾಕೃತಿಂ ಸ್ಮರೇತ್ ತೇನ ವಿಘ್ನಾಃ ಪ್ರಣಶ್ಯಂತಿ ಸಿದ್ಧ್ಯಂತಿ ಚ ಮನೋರಥಃ. ಹರೇ ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸ. Today onwards, I want to discuss a scripture, a particular scripture called Teertha Prabandha, which is given by or which is written by Sri Vadiraja Swami. He was an ardent follower of Dvaita philosophy. So first I will start with the particular shloka. कर्णे पदन्यस्त रुचिरिरं सुर वारासि वस्त्रं जगन्नाधीयस्याः अमूमुचद्बाणकरेण भूमेः श्रीभार्गवः सा जयति क्षितीर्नः. So before I enter into the subject details of this scripture, Teertha Prabandha, it is better or recommended to know about the biography or the life history of this particular Swami, Vadiraja Swami. He has appeared in a place called Huvinakere, which is near Kundapur, on the present coastal part of the present Karnataka state of this Bharat or India. So this particular place is called as Parasuram kshetra. It is not only this particular place, this Huvinakere is a part of this entire Parasuram kshetra. So the way how he has appeared, it's quite interesting to know. So in the olden days, there was a custom, like whenever a person or a parent or a woman or a man, whoever wants to have a children, they used to perform, like in the olden days, like in previous yugas like Dwapara and Treta yugas, there used to be a system called yajnas. But of course, they are not in existence in the present circumstances. So later what the things have happened was, one particular a person, a particular object like a fruit or a payasam or a kheer or whatever it is made, which is used to be offered to the god, and on which the Vedic mantras were recited. Due to the power of that Vedic mantras itself, the activities whatever come into the minds of the people used to happen. So this was the desire to have a children in that particular time, the parents of this particular Swami. So they went to a particular guru called Vagisha Teertha. He was a well-known scholar in those days. So this particular a couple went and approached him and asking for a son. So that particular Swamiji Vagisha Tirtha has recited a mantra on that, but on one condition he gave this. So once if your child is born, your kid should be given to our particular matha. So naturally it is the intention of any parent not to give their son born to the mathas and ordain them into the order of sannyasa. So they requested him a lot. But Swamiji again he has given a concession stating that if the child is born in home, inside the premises, it belongs to you. If he takes the birth outside the home, it belongs to the matha. So this couple took extreme care so that the delivery will not happen outside the home. They took extreme care for many months together. So there is one particular saying in English: man proposes and God disposes. Whatever the schemes we adopt, God will have his own schemes. So finally the day has come. It is Magha Masa. As per the Hindu calendar, Magha Masa comes in the 11th month. In the 11th month, in the Sukla Paksha, on the 12th day after the Amavasya or the new moon day, on Dwadashi day, when the home was fully busy with Dwadasi Prasada, suddenly a cow came inside their premises, which started grazing the grass which was grown near the house. So they had to drive that cow away. Otherwise, they will not have any food from the next day onwards if the cow starts grazing everything. And the whole house was fully engaged in having the prasada. And for any reason, they are not supposed to get up from that. So the owner of that particular house has requested this mother, or about to become a mother, to drive the cow away from that particular premises. So as per request, she left there and she started driving the cow out. Suddenly, while returning home after grazing, the labor pains started becoming very intense and severe. She could no longer walk, and finally she had to deliver the baby out of the home only. So this is what we say in English: man proposes and God disposes. Whatever the plans we have, it will not win the situation. Only God's plan only will win the situation, because the God wanted that particular boy to be ordained as a sannyasi. So the news reached the Vagisha Tirtha, the Swami who gave the fruit to this particular couple, and finally this boy was offered in a golden plate to the matha. So from there he took the brahmacharya. He was initially named as Bhuvaraha. He was ardent worshipper of Lord Bhuvaraha Swami, and later he was worshipping Trivikrama idol, Trivikrama deity. And finally he started worshipping Lord Hayagriva. These are all the three forms, Trivikrama, Bhuvaraha, then Hayagriva, they are all particular, they are all the forms of one particular Lord only. Lord Sriman Narayana. So he has given huge contribution to the Vedic literature, in which he has given one important scripture called Yukti Mallika, then this Teertha Prabandha, then Rukminisha Vijaya, and many other scriptures he gave. Apart from this, many songs to be sung in the Kannada language, Kannada literature. So his contribution to the Vedic literature was very immense. So I just referred only a few particular scriptures only. So there was one particular desire for his mother. In the requirement of a child before his birth, she has prayed to Bhuvaraha Swami that she will offer him Laksha Bharas of gold to him. So in that minute situation, she has promised somehow, but after getting the child, it was her turn how to offer that gold to that particular Bhuvaraha Swami. So then she discussed with her son. Then he is told, I will write a Lakshalankara for the Mahabharata, whichever is written by Vedavyas. It is like a commentary for the Vyasa Bharata, that is 1 lakh verses. So this he told his mother to offer that particular Lakshalankara scripture. That is, he has told that it is equal to the 1 lakh ton, 1 lakh bharas of the gold. So this way he has spent a glorious life. When he was active, during his active phase, one Arasappa Nayaka was there as a king in those places. So once what happens was, a marriage took place in which the bridegroom has passed away. In that instance, he starts singing a song called Lakshmi Shobhane, in which it depicts the marriage of Lakshmi and Narayana. So this Lakshmi Shobhane song, after dedicating it, suddenly the groom has started coming back to the life. It was as if that particular person went into a deep sleep and woke up. That is the power of that particular song called Lakshmi Shobhane. There are of course many commentaries, many pravachanas which are given by various people regarding that particular song. The way he has passed away, or the way he has left this material world, is also very quite interesting. So in the present day, Sonda, it is near to the same Kundapura, and again it is like 100 kilometers from present day Gokarna. So he went into the Brindavan alive. This is the first documented personality, or this is the first Brindavana Pravesha which is documented and which is available even today also. So he has entered into the Brindavana in the year 1600 AD. So he has spent 120 years of glorious life in this planet. His Aradhana, the day when he has entered inside, falls on the Phalguna Masa, that is the 12th month of Hindu calendar, on Tritiya day, on the third day after the full moon. That is this one, Phalguna Bahula Tritiya. So I just gave the brief introduction about the life history of this particular Swamiji. So I want to enter into the subject details of this particular scripture called Teertha Prabandha. The first shloka what I have recited is from the same Teertha Prabandha. How it is organized, we'll have a just a brief discussion about this subject. Teertha Prabandha is nothing but like a tourist guide. Suppose if I am going to a particular place, what is my responsibility? What is my duty to perform in that particular? Otherwise, what we will do is we will do whatever we know only, but which would not have been as per or in accordance with the Shastras. So this particular Swamiji, he has extensively toured to the many places in this Bharata Varsha. He has covered Shaiva Kshetras, Vaishnava Kshetras, Sakta Kshetras, and Nadi Kshetras, Sagara Kshetras, and many of them. And he has documented all these in a particular scripture called Teertha Prabandha. When we go through this particular scripture, it is better to go through this particular scripture before we set for some particular place of pilgrimage. So, what are the rules to be followed? So there are many Teerthas. Teertha Prabandha means it is like Teertha means particular place and Kshetra. Kshetra is a particular place. Teertha means it can be of Nadi Teertha or Sagara Teertha or whatever it means. So what is that we have to do? We have to perform. We should have a thought of like Teertha Chintana and Kshetra Chintana. Suppose if I am going to a particular Kshetra called Varanasi, what is my particular duty? What should I think of about in that particular kshetra? If I go to a place called Kurukshetra, what is my how the thoughts of mine should be there in that particular kshetra? So these are all the particular things which is given by this particular Swamiji. So which is a beautifully organized scripture. So I want to go in discussion as per the directions of these particular places. For example, I will start by entering into the details of the western part of India, that is called as Paschima. This is organized in a particular book called Paschima Prabandha. The second one I will go into the Uttara part of this Bharata, that is Uttara Prabandha. Then Purva part of this Purva Prabandha. Then Dakshina part of this Bharata Varsha, it is called as Dakshina Prabandha. So I'll just give some brief introduction what is there in that particular Paschima Prabandha. Paschima Prabandha will start like whichever is on the western part of the India, like Udupi, Gokarna, then Prabhasa Kshetra, which is near to the Somanath temple. It is almost like 3 to 4 kilometers from the Somanath temple. Then about Somanath Kshetra, Dwaraka Kshetra, all these Kshetras are mentioned in this particular Paschima Prabandha. In Uttara Prabandha, Badri, places like Badri, Gaya, Varanasi are given. And in the Purva part, like famous temples like Puri, Jagannath, and all other kind of scriptures or other kind of things are being discussed in that particular scripture. And in the Dakshina part, it is mentioned as like Rameshwaram, then Srirangam. These kind of particular places are being discussed in that particular book. So there are particular things like Teertha, Kshetra, in that particular Kshetra we have to do. And again, he has mentioned the reference of rivers, the importance of bathing in those rivers. All these things are mentioned in this particular part. So the shloka first, what I have discussed is this Karni Padanyasta Ruchi Riramsur Varasi Vastram Jagannadiyasyaha अमूमुच्छद्भाण करेण भूमेः श्री भार्गवः साजयति क्षितिरणाः. So how we have to understand this one? What is the meaning of this particular shloka? So this particular shloka is referring to the subject of Parashurama kshetra. Then why he has mentioned this particular. So what is the organized method of this reading of this book is, so first in that book, first 4 shlokas deal with the Mangalacharana shlokas. Mangalacharana means it is like invocative prayers on the first shloka, first two shloka. First shloka will be on Lord Sriman Narayana, who is the supreme personality of the Godhead. The second one is on the Hayagriva Swami, that is in the horse form of Lord Sriman Narayana. It is his favorite deity actually. Then third one is on Madhvacharya, who has proposed the Dvaita philosophy. Then the next one is on his guru, as I was just telling few minutes back about Sri Vagisha Teertha. Then fifth part is the shloka on the subject matter. Then sixth part is this shloka. This is the sixth shloka. So each shloka is like each chapter in that particular scripture. So what is this Parashurama kshetra? So in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Sri Krishna tells, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirbhavati bharataha abhyutyanama dharmasya tadatmanam srujamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkrutam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So when and wherever there is a decay of dharma, I will reincarnate myself from time to time, yuga to yuga, place to place. So this is the promise what he has given to all his devotees. Then the second part is paritranaya sadhunam. Whenever a virtuous person, whenever a good person is affected by the activities of the bad, dushkarmis, dushkruta, I will appear myself again to save the virtuous people and punish the bad people. So as a part of that, if whenever we see any avatars of the Lord, there will be a purpose. So in this Parashurama kshetra, in this Parashurama avatar, it is, the Lord has of course taken many millions of forms, but out of this, the 10 forms that is called as Dashavatara is more popularized by Bhakta Jayadeva. So as per that, in the order it will come as like a sixth one, but of course it is not the exact order. It is just for the sake of convenience he has organized it in that way. So Lord Parashurama has appeared to eliminate the wicked Kshatriyas and reinstall the good Kshatriyas. So whenever and wherever I am telling about particular this kind of things, it is only Varna Vyavastha, it is not caste system. So caste system is a misconception, whereas Varna system is a social order. So Brahmanas are to be considered, or it is they are how any person can be termed as Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra is based on basically on the activities, not on the birth, place of birth, or to the parents to where they are born, or into the language, or into the region or religion. These all things are not at all a matter to describe whether a person is a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, or whatever it may be. See, any person who is interested in reading the scriptures, making others educated, and who wishes for the welfare of the society, is termed as Brahmana. Wherever, irrespective of his place of birth, the time of birth, or whatever it may be. A person who has got administrative capabilities or the ruling capabilities, they are to be termed as Kshatriyas. Any person who has got very good business tactics, business skills, they are to be termed as Vaishyas. And the other one is Shudras. The people whoever are engaged in the public service, they are to be termed as Shudras. So everything is based on the occupation of the person, occupation what they particularly take. So Lord Parashurama has appeared in Brahmana community. He has eliminated wicked Kshatriyas by conquering this world for 21 times. And he has, whatever he has got the land or whatever it may be, the properties, whatever he got after conquering, he has given as charity to the Brahmanas in those days. So once after donating to the Brahmanas, or once whatever is there, if we donate something to that, again we should not take a claim on that. So that is what Lord Parashurama also has done it. So what he has done is he has donated everything and he is now left with anything. He is left with nothing. To be frank, he is left with nothing. So he thought of how to stand on this particular earth. So then he has shot an arrow. So to the place where the point of trigger, from where it is triggered to the point of the falling of arrow, the sea, the seashore, whatever is there in the present day of this Sahyadri belt, has just taken back inside. It is to be thought of in that way, like this particular, it is like vastra or the cloth being removed, that way the sea waters have gone inside. So that starts from present day Gokarna or Goa, we can assume any of this, from there to the southern part of Kerala. So this particular part is called as Parashurama kshetra. Whatever the places come inside in this particular part is called as Parashurama kshetra. So there is a tradition or customary, it is a customary to perform any sankalpa before we start off any of the activities like marriage, then housewarming ceremony, or pindadana, or whatever it may be. So whenever we start doing this, before starting of this particular performance of this any yajna or yaga or whatever it may be, like housewarming or whatever, so we will read one sankalpa. So in that sankalpa, we will state it as Rama kshetra, Vaivaswata manvantare, Bharata kande, Bharata varshe, Jambu dvipe, like this. When we say, again one particular word called Sri Rama kshetra will appear. Throughout the world we should recite Sri Rama kshetra, but when it comes to this particular Parashurama kshetra, we have to recite as Parashurama kshetra. So whenever any person is doing any sankalpa in that particular belt, it should be recited as Parashurama kshetra. So this is particular place, this Huvinakere, whatever I am telling, it is the Janmasthala of this Swamiji, and it falls into the Parashurama kshetra belt. So what is the meaning of this particular shloka? So Karne Padanyasta Ruchiriram Sur. So what is the meaning is, one should imagine this particular present day Gokarna in Karnataka, which is a very famous place of, which is a very famous abode of Lord Shiva, where he is named as Lord Mahabaleshwara Swami. So from that particular place should be imagined as, Karne means ear of this Bhumandala. See, this is purely our, it should be in that way we should assume this particular kshetra. And from there, Varasi Vastram Jagannadiyasya. That means this particular seashore has gone inside and this particular land has come up, on which Lord Parashurama has stepped in. So this is the meaning of this particular shloka. So that means he is giving a brief importance on the place of his birth. So this carries the meaning of this particular place. And what about this this particular Parashurama kshetra is having 7 more important places. Many important places are there. Of course, I will say Sapta Mahakshetras. Number 1 is Rajata Pithapura. It is none other than Udupi. Then Kumaradri. It is none other than Kukke Subramanya in the present day Karnataka. Then Krodha. Then Kumbhashi is a famous place of Lord Ganesha. Then Koteshwara, Gokarna, just now as I was discussing, it is none other than the abode of Lord Mahabaleshwara Swami, Lord Shiva. Then the last one is Mukambika. It is none other than Kollur, a present place called Kollur, which is again in the coastal part of the Karnataka. These are to be considered as 7 Mahakshetras, Sapta Mahakshetras in the Parashurama kshetra. So in that particular place, Lord Parashurama has come, and I am born in such a particular place. That is what is the importance of this particular place called Parashurama kshetra. So with this, I want to conclude the first particular topic of Teertha Prabandha. It is of course the sixth shloka of Paschim Prabandha. Again in the next sessions, I will be discussing on Rajata Peethapura. It is on the Udupi kshetra. The importance of that particular kshetra, how it has come into existence, what is its role in the present situation in the Vedic world, and what all things we have to perform in that particular location. So we will have a brief discussion on that particular topic in the forthcoming sessions. कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्माना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि. हरे श्रीनिवास. I want to dedicate this particular session to राघवेंद्र गुरुवंतर्गत भारती रमण मुख्य प्राणांतर्गत श्री उडुपी कृष्ण. सर्वं श्री कृष्णार्पणमस्तु. हरे श्रीनिवास.